Hi everyone! Welcome back to my little corner of the internet where I talk about whatever I want, which is mostly movies and TV. Hi! Alright. Do you love dumb movies? Because I do. I really do. I love a good dumb movie. You know, the ones where you don't have to think too much, the acting is a bit much, things are exaggerated, but at the end of it, there is heart. And you don't feel like you wasted your time on trash. That type of dumb. So today, I wanted to share with you 3 of my favorite Japanese dumb movies, or dumb Japanese movies. So these are ones I've watched multiple times. I've even cosplayed characters from 2 of these. So you know I love these. Without further ado, let's go. The first one I want to talk about is probably my favorite out of the 3. I didn't want to rank them, but I can't really help it. These are not my children. I don't like them all equally, but I do like them all. So, number 1. Favorite one. Shimotsuma Monogatari. It's a story about friendship and how we can learn and grow from each other. Isn't that nice? But how do we tell such a lovely story? Should we go the gut-wrenching way? Or maybe a good slice of life situation? Something anyone can relate to? Nah. Let's have a 16-year-old Lolita living in the boonies and a 17-year-old scooter riding Yankee. Yeah, let's do it. So, yes. Momoko, played by Kyoko Fukada, is a Lolita. It's a fashion style where you dress with very frilly dresses. It's very expensive, it's very extravagant, and you kind of end up looking like a porcelain doll in a way. She used to live in Osaka with her dad, who was a Yakuza member selling counterfeit goods. And after he got he got way over his head by selling Versace USJ collaboration goods. Classic. They escaped to his mother's home in Shimotsuma in Ibaraki Prefecture. So, like I said, Momoko is a Lolita. She likes frilly dresses, eating sweets, doing embroidery. She believes in a solitary life and is pretty apathetic to anything and everything around her. She manages to lie to her father on several occasions to get money from him so that she could afford said frilly dresses, which, like I said, are not cheap. But, she's starting to feel a little guilty about it. It's like, maybe, I should do something to get those dresses myself. So she decides to try and sell some of those leftover counterfeit goods that her father made. Puts an ad in like a little magazine. Enter Ichiko, played by the wonderful Anna Tsuchiya. She is a Yankee. Not Yankee Doodle, but Yankee. Which, it comes from the same thing. But it's just a Japanese term for a very specific type of delinquent. They're very group-oriented and are into wearing kamikaze coats and have like crazy hairstyles, motorcycles, and like to fight and do a lot of noise pollution. That's basically what they do. So anyway, Ichiko answers Momoko's ad and comes to her house to check out the goods. From there on out, she considers Momoko her friend. So she goes wherever she goes. Momoko, however, as we said earlier, is very much a solitary creature, so she doesn't really get it. It takes like a trip to Daikanyama in Tokyo together, and for them to have like a really big fight for her to kind of realize what's happening to her. She's making friends. It ends up with this epic battle scene in front of the Ushiku Daibutsu in Ibaraki, which I still haven't visited, but it's on my list. It's a fantastic ending. Look, this movie is perfect. There are a couple of animated segments in there that are absolutely crazy. The music is quirky and heartfelt and adds to the whole tone of the movie. The setting is amazing with how rural everything is. You feel completely isolated. And then you have these insanely colorful characters all around you, and like they make sense in the situation that we're in. There are some like incredibly memorable moments. There's friendships compared to cabbages. It's just flying kids. It's insane. Also, fun fact, the director of this movie is the one that made the Oscar-nominated movie Confessions, so you would never have guessed. Except for one scene in Confessions that I was like, now I see it. But yeah, it's crazy. And, you know, as a person who has taken up embroidery as a hobby during the pandemic, this movie has another layer of enjoyment added to it. If you've never watched it, I highly, highly recommend that you do. It is just too much fun. It is exactly what I described as a dumb movie. It is so stupid, but also so heartfelt and shows like a true friendship in the best way. Next up we have Detroit Metal City. How do I describe this movie? Is it insane, ridiculous, stupid, perfect, all of the above? You see, this movie is based on a manga and anime of the same name. Neither are any saner, mind you. They are probably even crazier. Like, I've watched the anime, it is bonkers. But here we are. It stars Kenichi Matsuyama as Shoichi. He's a country bumpkin who dreams of moving to Tokyo to live the oshare lifestyle and be an oshare musician. Oshare is a word that's a bit tricky to translate. In the context of this movie, it means something between like stylish and hipster. It's like this intangible word, but it has like a particular image in mind. So Shoichi wants to live in like a hip area and shop in the fashionable shopping mall, but he also adores like indie music and wants to be that style of singer-songwriter with a guitar that sings about cheesecakes and miniskirts. After graduating from university, he ends up answering an ad recruiting musicians, and then, unbeknownst to him, becomes the lead singer-songwriter and guitar player for a death metal band.
Come on!
How do you accidentally become the leader of a death metal band? I don't know. No one knows. But here we are. So Shoichi now lives this double life. He's a struggling indie cheesy pop musician by day and death metal demon from hell singer by night. And the story kind of sees Shoichi struggle with balancing both worlds as he rekindles a friendship with a girl from university that he has a crush on. It is as insane as you think it is. It is... I can't with this movie. The anime actually makes more of a point to show how like the cheesy songs end up becoming the base for the metal songs. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. Like, if you're a music geek, watch the anime, because it kind of shows it. But both types of songs are like amazing. Like, it's perfect. Terrible lyrics for both, honestly. The entire like message of the movie is about like following your dreams and how your dreams can influence others. The whole like no music, no dream. It's very you know? But it's wrapped in a blanket of complete insanity. It's perfect. There are tons of like music battles, and we see like the depiction of like metalheads. It's just hilarious. It's just so fun. You have Gene Simmons in there as a surprise cameo. Needless to say that the music in this movie is amazing. Like I said, the lyrics are terrible, but the music is great. You can rock out. I rock out to them. I also really love the styling of the characters themselves. Like the complete like dissonance of the two worlds is really beautiful. And on top of that, you get to see a lot of Tokyo and the countryside. It's like it's really fun. 10 out of 10. I would always recommend this movie if you need to be cheered up. All right. Last but not least, Too Young to Die. Too young to die, too young to die. This movie, I mean, obviously it's dumb, but it's a Kudo Kankuro movie. And that means a lot, because not only is it a Kudo Kankuro movie, it's written and directed by Kudo Kankuri. And that's just double whammy. Kudo Kankuro is a Japanese screenwriter, director, actor. He wrote 3 of my all-time favorite Japanese dramas. He has such a unique point of view and way of storytelling. No one does what he does. He really loves writing comedies about tragedies That's kind of his thing. And everything he writes ends up having like this tragic element at its core, but everything around it is comedy. It doesn't mean he's making fun of the situation. I just want to be clear. But it just means there's this beautiful balance at play that I find particularly pleasant. So yes, Too Young to Die stars the adorable Ryunosuke Kamiki as Daisuke. He's a high school student who ends up dying during a school trip when the school bus plummets off a cliff. So Daisuke wakes up in Jigoku, so Japanese hell, and meets a demon named Killer K, played by my absolute favorite Japanese actor, Tomoya Nagase. So with the help of Killer K, Daisuke finds out that he can get reincarnated. So he goes to petition to do just that. Daisuke ends up getting reincarnated several times, and each time is something else. Meanwhile, time passes on Earth, so we get to see how things continue on while Daisuke attempts to get back to the land of the living as a human. The setting of this movie is incredible. Like, Earth looks completely normal, but hell, like Jigoku, is amazing. It looks like a stage play. It looks like a set, which, I don't know, I absolutely loved about it. It looks so fake, but yet you can't help but love it. And everything is very, very Japanese. So if you want to know what Jigoku looks like, I think it's a good way to find out. The depiction of heaven, though, is interesting to say the least. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it was just somebody does not like heaven. They do not find that place interesting. Out of the 3 movies, I think this one has the highest bar of accessibility, just because if you know nothing about Japanese culture and religion, it might be too difficult of a hurdle to go through to relate to the characters. Having said that, I do think it's an amazing and truly original movie. So if you want to watch something you've never watched before, this is it. To my knowledge, there isn't anything like it. So yes, these are my top 3 dumb Japanese movies. Have you watched any of these? Do you want to? Please let me know in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all the YouTubey things. And I'll see you next time. Bye!